believe that everything that I was influenced by is resulted in the X-Files, and that if I'm influencing other people, it's a wonderful thing, because it is a continuity. Then it is a long process. We set out to do certain things. We set out to do something that was not only high quality storytelling, but was cinematic, as you say, that had high production value. We set out to do that with limited resources. In the beginning, we had very limited resources. So I was given very valuable information when I was a younger, I should say, filmmaker. And it was given to me by a man who is now an Academy Award winner. It wasn't at the time, but he is Steven Spielberg's production designer. His name is Rick Carter, and he's no relation to me, even though we have the same surname. But he told me he had just done 44 episodes of Steven Spielberg's Amazing Stories. He had just done a lot of television, and he knew what the restrictions of television were. And when he read my pilot episode of The X-Files, he said to me, "I'm going to give you some valuable advice." He says, "Keep all the scary stuff in the shadows. Scare them by what you don't show them." That was extremely valuable advice. It helped to promote the darkness of the show, a cinematic approach, the delivery of information, the way you do with horror and the way you do with thrillers, creating suspense and tension. Those things were built into the look of the show, but they actually informed the way we told those stories. So everything worked together. The new series of The X-Files, which there will be 6 episodes, which we are shooting now. We are just completing episode 2, so we're really at the beginning. It will be a continuation of the old X-Files. So we are true to the characters' lives, the passage of time, the world context, the sort of global context that we are telling these stories in. So we are being honest to those things. Will the show look any different? No, it won't look different, even though it's being shot on digital cameras. The production values will remain high. We will continue to try to do the same kind of thing we were doing with the X-Files originally, told stories now told in a new, very new and exciting time. People are calling this a reboot, and I'll take that. But you know, it's funny because you could consider this to be a recycled television show, which I don't believe that it is. I believe that we are doing something fresh and new, and I don't think that any of us would come back to just do it to do it. We are really trying to be inspired by world events, the time we are telling these stories in. And we are coming back fresh. I'll call it a recreation of the show. We're revisiting the mythology of the show. So these are exciting times in which to be telling X-Files stories. But what I'm watching now, I watch House of Cards now on HBO. I'm sorry, I watch House of Cards on Netflix. I watch True Detective on HBO. Watched The Fall, which is Gillian Anderson's series, which is a British series. I can't remember who produced it. Watched that, wonderful. I watched Mad Men, which was a masterpiece to me. Something unto itself, nothing like it. Beautifully done. Those are the kinds of things I'm watching. There's too much good television right now. The thing you get to do with a movie that you don't get to do with television is you get to render it with a pace that television does not afford. You've got to move very quickly in television. You have about, in my case, 8 days to make an hour of entertainment. With a movie, if you have the resources that you should, you have 60 to 100 days to make roughly 90 to 120 minutes of entertainment. You have a chance to hopefully try to mount a masterpiece. I would love to be able to do that and approach that again. I have more ideas than I have time, so I have lots of ideas. I've written things that I would like to see go forward, but I always consider those to be possibilities and not realities until I have something that is, has a patron. Yeah, well, it's amazing to be here. I just arrived last night, so Neuchâtel is. I've only seen it in the evening hours and in the morning hours now, so I can't really tell you how I feel about it. But I can tell you that to be here in this place obviously has tremendous history and beautiful architecture, and everyone is so nice and so respectful. That is a special thing. Yeah.
Okay, so thank you very much.
Thank you very much.